And it's same thing as everything else, understanding the differences between when I have your foot here versus here, that's just me trying to find a better stretch for you, right? It changes from person to person. It can change from foot to foot. So just doing the setup isn't really enough. It's finding the right angle that they can tolerate, what's appropriate. And then some people would feel a pretty good stretch here. Most would feel a better stretch like this. Play around with somewhere in the middle for every person, and make sure they have something to hold on to, because if they don't hold on to something, they might start falling out of the stretch, and then the whole setup's kind of useless because you're not at the end range of your ankle to begin with. So opposing foot, we're gonna have you roughly diagonal again, but if we can't find the stretch, then we can play around with how diagonal are you. So all the weight is on this foot, this leg's just a kickstand. Do we have open side stretching?
Not as deep as it could be deeper for sure. Try to angle more that way.
Yeah. Try to angle like your knee going over the pinky toe a little bit more.
Now I got it.
You found open side. Is there any closing side pinching?
No.
None at all.
I also feel it like somewhat in my Achilles.
That's fine.
Majority.
That's fine. You're gonna find that too.
I don't have any pinching now.
So you're gonna feel the Achilles in the backside somewhat too, because you're not just everted, you're dorsiflexed as well. So that is still open side. And that's where if someone lacks dorsiflexion, they need lengthening of their Achilles and backside, right? So that's where the overlap is. Where's your stretch out on a scale of 1 to 10?
Probably like a 7.
Okay, hang out there. Breathe into that.
You want this toe still kind of like...
I like it on the ground, at least when we pail, I like the back foot on the ground because it'll keep you from worrying about balancing and stuff. When you, like right now, you're passive stretching, that's less relevant to me. Yeah. But when you start contracting, I don't want this to start like shifting backwards out of the stretch because this foot's not locked down, right? I'm just trying to create stability there. All right, you got another 1.5 minutes there of stretching. Keep breathing into that. I'm gonna get some water real quick.
I haven't lost it at all. It's still like...
You're still able to get a stretch?
I wouldn't say it's gotten any deeper, but it hasn't gotten like, I haven't lost it at all.
Okay, try to find a little bit more then if you can. Play around with it. And that's where like how literate is someone to be able, like of their ankle to find that stretch. And like for a client, I think you have a better, for a client, you have a better bet of trying to adjust them and then asking them how much stretch they have versus telling them to adjust themselves because they don't know how to adjust to find the stretch.
Yeah, you're telling me it's a little bit different.
Yeah, because you have more body awareness, but for someone who doesn't, you have to like change every little thing and say, is this better, is this worse? And then until you find it. So you're trying to teach them to find the stretch too. You got another 30 seconds. Keep breathing into that. You're trying to dial the stretch sensation back to, right, through your breathing. That's another thing too, is we're not just sitting there in the stretch waiting the timer down. You're trying to like deliberately relax yourself so that we can push into deeper range more comfortably. All right, go ahead and begin the pail. So remember, nothing moves, none of this moves, this doesn't move, this doesn't move. You're trying to push the outside of the ankle down and pulling the inside up. Do we feel the stretched area now squeezing? You're able to find it. Okay, keep finding it. Are you able to deliberately contract it any harder?
Not really. The side is definitely a lot more sensitive than the other side. Sure.
It's more uncomfortable? Yeah. Okay, so do whatever intensity you can handle then, and we're just gonna let that burn on the timer for a minute.
I'm probably pushing with like a 6 or a 7 right now.
That's fine, stick with that. It's the first time we've done eversion too, so I don't want you to overdo it in that sense either. And if you can only tolerate 50-60%, then maybe next time you do it, do a little bit longer, harder. We don't need to be 100% at all right now. When an ankle is untrained, it doesn't require the same amount of stimulus to like create an adaptation, right? Like a client doesn't really need to do 100% effort most times, so they can coordinate it and actually execute it well. See if you can dial it up a little bit more, and if you can't, just do whatever intensity you can handle.
I can handle more.
Okay, so we're still pushing the outside down. You're trying to pull the inside up, but everything else is locked in stone so that you can't move, right? We're creating an isometric from the setup.
The only thing that should be moving is me trying to...
Is you trying to move the ankle, right? And if I look at your ankle, you can see the shifting is trying to happen, but nothing can move because we locked you down. Go ahead and reverse and rail and try to lift the outside up and shorten the outside. Do you feel the outside contracting? Okay, so you're trying to shorten this now as opposed to contracting the progressive tissue. You're shortening the regressive tissue. Keep holding, dial that up a little bit more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax it. Let's come out of it and really emphasize each end range of inversion and eversion. So if it's a little stiff, just work your way through it for a minute.
Oh yeah, that's like really...
It feels different than the other ankle did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay, right? That's like kind of you understanding your ankle better and what your ankle needs. And a lot of times when someone has an issue with one ankle like this, they would be less inclined to actually tackle it and they push less hard.
Yeah.
And they tend to avoid the bad side because it's uncomfortable, but like it's letting you know that, you know, this side needs more volume, more attention, or any attention for that matter. And when you go into eversion, I want you really grinding out that outer edge. Inversion 2, all the way up. And then reverse. Get a couple more there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So just like all other PAILs and rails we did, you passive stretch, try to establish passive range. You contract that stretched tissue at length. You're squeezing stretched tissue.
Yeah.
And then we shortened the opposite side of the joint to push deeper into eversion.